Yes, dear learners, once again very warm welcome in Linguistics for my e-lecture. We were discussing semantics, that is one of the level of language in which we study meanings. Especially we talk about in semantics denotative meaning, conceptual meaning of words. After that, we discussed different types of meaning, conceptual meaning, associative meaning, and then we talked about different roles which are performed by different noun phrases depending upon the type of the verb which we use in sentence. So up till now we can conclude that the words are not simply container of meaning, rather words may fulfill different semantic roles in different sentences. Today we'll talk about another topic, that is semantic features. Semantic features. After discussing this topic, you would come to know how important semantics is. You would come to know the significance of this subject, because in our daily life, most of the time we use those sentences which are semantically correct. But in different classes, in our schools, in colleges, we keep on focusing, we keep on forcing certain principles of language, which is known as grammar, set of prescriptions which govern the language. So our major focus is on well-formed sentences, those sentences which are grammatically correct. But today we'll see that sometimes we do have some sentences which are grammatically correct, but those sentences are semantically odd, means not meaningful. Those sentences might be meaningful in some contexts, in pragmatics or in other disciplines, but as far as the domain or dimension of semantics is concerned, those sentences semantically considered as odd ones, strange ones, ill-formed sentences. So first of all, let me give you one example here. Yes, very interesting example. The bread ate the man. The bread ate the man. If you analyze the syntactic structure, noun phrase, verb, noun phrase, here this is man, noun, the determiner, it would become as, okay, let me draw a tree diagram. This is noun and this is determiner, and it would make as noun phrase. And the bread, this is again determiner and noun, it would make as noun phrase, and this is verb. Noun phrase and verb phrase make up a sentence. Yes, this is the combination here. It would become as a verb and it would become verb phrase, and noun phrase and verb phrase make up a sentence. Yes, grammatically, what phrase structure rules suggest that a sentence must consist of noun phrase and verb phrase. Yes, grammatically this sentence is correct, but what is wrong with this sentence? Semantically, this sentence, if we analyze the meaning of this sentence, it means just grammar is not sufficient. Just noun phrase structure rules are not sufficient to convey a meaningful sentence. For example, here it means this noun phrase must have certain features which must match with this verb. Ate something. Yes, when we say this one, the bread, this is non-living things, and this action is associated with living beings, not with non-living being things. The bread is non-living being. So for matching this verb, this noun phrase, this subject must have certain features. So we can say that in language there are certain words which must have certain features, semantic features for the completion of a meaningful sentence. The bread ate the man. This is semantically odd because the bread does not have required features. So we can analyze, that is called as semantic analysis, semantic feature analysis. We'll discuss in detail over here. I have given just one example. The bread might be in poetic language, in poetic expressions. You would find these sort of expressions, but poets are always at liberty. They can deviate the normal pattern of language depending upon their own mood. So we can't discuss those expressions. For example, in Punjabi language, there is an expression that is similar to this one. For example, and if you listen that expression, you would enjoy it. Because the interpretation of that expression, let me give you, तू की जाने यार फरीदा रोटी बंदा खा जाती है. तू की जाने यार फरीदा रोटी बंदा खा जाती है. So here, if you look at the meaning or interpretation of this one, so you would enjoy a lot. To earn a bread, right? To fulfill the basic needs of life, man keeps on working hard, and at the end, he might lose his life. He has to suffer a lot while having the bread. So, but these kinds of expressions are a bit different from semantics context. That would become the subject of pragmatics, in which we see the contextual meaning. Right. Another example, the wall talked yesterday. Most of the time in Urdu language, we consider that दीवारों के भी कान होते हैं. You have never heard that दीवारों की भी ज़बान होती है. Right? दीवारों के भी कान होते हैं. This is the sentence which mostly we use in Urdu language, but it doesn't mean that in fact दीवारों के कान होते हैं, right? If walls have ears, then walls must have capability to listen. But if that has capability to listen, it might have the capability to talk. अगर ज़बान, if we associate the word tongue with walls, then it may be correct one. The wall talked yesterday, but it doesn't happen in semantics, right? The wall, this subject, this noun phrase must have certain features to fulfill the demand of this verb. So this is what semantic features we will discuss in detail. So don't go anywhere. I'm here to explain in detail the concept of semantic features.
Yes, here are some more examples which are semantically odd but grammatically correct, as this one is: the table listens to the radio. The table doesn't have that quality which is required to match with the verb listens, because the table is inanimate, non-living being. This table is unable to listen. So grammatically this is correct, because the table, this is noun phrase, and to the radio, again this is another phrase, and grammatically this sentence is totally 100% correct. But semantically this sentence, the horse is reading the newspaper. Next example is the horse is reading the horse is reading the newspaper. Now this is not the subject, this is not the quality of the animals to read the newspapers. Reading this sort of activity is expected from different human beings, yes, not from animals. There may be certain animals which have been tamed, which have been trained by different trained people, masterminded people, but those chances are very rare. At some time, we see in different um, entertaining programs, in which we mostly see the Susie, a dog which has been trained for recognizing different figures, but it is very rare that an animal could read. So this is semantically odd sentence. The wall talked, as earlier I gave you this example. Hamburger asked for some cheese. So this is not the quality of hamburger. Any animate person can ask for something. Hamburger is inanimate, non-living being, so it cannot have this quality. So from these examples, it is quite clear that sentence only grammatical composition is not necessary for the correct sentence. Along with grammatical principles, grammatical traditions, certain other semantic features are required that the subject must have depending upon the kind of verb which the sentence has. Next, we see the definition. Yes, sorry. Yes, semantic features. Here is definition of semantic features. Once again. Yes, the semantic features are categories that allow us to classify the meaning of a word. Category, if I define the category means the class of expression which shares common characteristics. Right? If I say, for example, bird, so this is one category and it would share certain characteristics common, that would be considered common among all those entities which belong to this category of word. So the semantic features are categories. These are those categories that allow us to classify the meaning of a word. With the help of semantic features, we can understand the meaning of different words. They are usually represented with head word and using the symbols plus and minus. To say if the word contains that feature, we would use plus, and if that particular word does not have that kind of feature, then we would use minus. And this point is to be remembered. This is the most important point. There is no list of semantic features. We can't say that this is the particular or the final stone regarding the list of the semantic features. We can't make a final list of semantic features. The list of semantic features may vary from society to society, from culture to culture, from varying different language to language even, right? Because in every language we have to some extent different kind of worldview, and language enables us to express that worldview. So according to, depending upon the differences in worldviews, these the categories of semantic features may differ. As you see here, next example. Yes, sorry. Yes, here is a list of semantic features. Animate, human, female, adult. These are different semantic features, and under the category of, or under the list of these semantic features, we would analyze, or we would conduct a semantic feature analysis of different lexemes of language. For example, we are going to analyze table. We are going to analyze the semantic features of table. So either table is animate or inanimate. Of course, table is inanimate. So the animate, this characteristics is not present in table, so we mark with minus, negative mark. And again, human, table is human or inhuman, of course. It's inhuman, so negative mark. Female, male. No, in some languages, maybe these and sorry, these inanimate objects may be considered as masculine or feminine. So depending upon the language in which you are analyzing the semantic features, these demarcation or the marks of positive or negative may vary, because in some languages table may be considered as feminine entity, so then we may mark as positive. So adult, again, in our context, this is not adult. So next is horse. Horse is animate, of course. Animate, living being. Animate refers to living being. So plus, and human, of course horse is not considered as human minds. So in the same way, I'm jumping, skipping man going towards woman. Yes, animate, positive, plus human. Yes, female. Yes, adult. Yes. So all the characteristics, all the features are possessed by woman. That is why we marked as positive. So this is how we can analyze semantic features of different words, and we can have many other words to make a list of semantic features, like here, in these example, bees and mosquitoes and cricket and wasps. So these are different categories, and these are different lexemes, and we want to six legs, three body parts. Has, of course, if the bee has three six legs, then positive. If does not, then we would mark negative. So in the same way, we can create our own list to analyze the semantic features of different lexemes, and this semantic features analysis would enable us to understand the meaning of different words, and this feature would enable us to make up a meaningful sentence, the sentence which is grammatically correct as well as semantically correct. So this is all about for today's lecture. So keep watching Lisanics. If you want to learn more and more, you are free to subscribe. It is free. You won't have to cost anything. So be happy, stay blessed, take very good care of yourself. Thank you so much for listening.